when you cook big curries, how much do you decide of what goes into what? When you're cooking at home, it's very easy to add in one onion or two tomatoes. But all of a sudden, when you cook for 10, 12 people, how do you portion out your curry? Or how do you know of how much onions go into a curry to make it taste nice? Now, when it comes to commercial cooking, the rules are very different. But when you're cooking at home, there are three easy rules that I always recommend that can help you when you're cooking, especially for big occasions. The first one is your ratios. Now, for each kilogram of protein, so meat, chicken, whatever, you name it, you want to have an equal ratio, a 1-to-1 ratio of either tomatoes or onions, which is a stock vegetable. Now, the reason for this, for example, if you use a kilo of chicken, use a kilo of, for example, half onion, half tomatoes, or 60-40, because that will then allow you to have a good ratio between sauce and protein. When you're also cooking it through, remember, onions and tomatoes, they reduce in size, as does the chicken. What you don't want to do is add in too many onions, too many tomatoes, and have a very saucy, gravy, runny dish, and just not enough chicken. Doing this rule keeps it easy for you. Number two, don't add salt all the way at the beginning. And that's because when you're cooking, when you cook big pots of curry, you often add loads and loads of water, or throughout the dish, you add lots of water. Salt gets diluted in that. So if you add it at the beginning, and if it's too salty, you're just going to make the dish saltier. And my third rule is when you're cooking curry at home, whatever the recipe book says, or whatever you think in your head to add in, always add in 20% more in terms of spices. Now, the reason is when you cook huge pots, or for example, a smaller stock pot, like for example, this size in the kitchen, so a lot of the spice, it gets stuck at the bottom. So when you add 20% more and you mix it really well, it just helps you get that flavor through into the dish itself. Because I guarantee you, just like when you poorly stir through a cup of tea and the sugar sits at the bottom, it's the same with spices, and it's the same when you cook curry. And that's why when you then spoon the curry out and then serve it on a plate, a lot of the spices are still stuck at the bottom of the curry pot itself.